I believe community is the future of online business, and I would like to help people have the kind of lifestyle I had from my community. My husband developed a seizure disorder and needed to not work, and we needed a stay-at-home parent. I bought a 5-bedroom house on Lake Washington, and I was the sole signatory. Just things I could never have imagined without the power of community.
I'm Candace Rudardi. This is Gratitude Geek. Today we are talking to Carol Tice, a former journalist who built and sold a $6 million paid community and now teaches experts how to do the same, all while traveling full time in her RV. Welcome, Carol.
Thanks for having me, Candace.
I have to hear this story. How did you end up in the RV?
Well, we wanted to downsize when our kids were graduating high school, and then we looked at each other and didn't really know where or how. I was like, I want to just get a little condo in Seattle. My husband, fishing cabin in the middle of nowhere. Like, what would I do there? So we bought the RV. We always liked camping, and backpack camped when we were younger and car camped and camped with our kids a little. And anyway, we traveled around on that first trip, and we didn't really find anything that checked all our boxes that we thought was affordable. And then, yeah, we just eventually decided this is the downsize. This is the size I want, the transportable size. And so we can just keep exploring and keep looking at what we think we want retirement to look like, and just have Starlink will travel.
So let's talk about community. Your career was in broadcasting, and then you created this community.
I actually mostly did print journalism. I did a little broadcast, but mostly print. And then I got laid off because I was a highly paid reporter. Then I started freelancing, and I thought I'd get another job, but freelancing was going really well, and blogging had occurred. And I was like, what? I can just write, and I just have the publish button myself, and there's no gatekeepers. I'm in. And a lot of writers were really struggling. This is like 2008, 9. It was the big downturn. I had decided to ramp my business to 6 figures in that time period because that's what I wanted. And I didn't think the macroeconomic factors needed to affect little old one tiny me. And as I went on, I realized that a lot of writers didn't have the same outlook I did. They were starving, they were writing for content mills for $5, and that there was a need for some kind of business discipline to be brought to the world of freelance writing, of how do you do this as a real living. I replaced my old salary, and then I just kept going and started blogging, and I joined a community for bloggers to make my blog better. And then I went, wow, this is amazing. I love it. I'm learning so much. And there's nothing like this for freelance writers, and there really should be, because I just kept getting these emails off my blog of like, oh my God, I have a meeting tomorrow. I don't know what to charge. I don't know what to do. And so I knew I did not want to be the free 24/7 Dear Abby of freelance writers, that there had to be some way for me to be compensated for my time of helping people, and that helping one person at a time also was not a good way to go. And I had done one-on-one coaching of writers. I had done small group coaching, and that was better because they had each other. I saw that community was the next step where they'd have a lot of each other's to support each other. I wanted really to change my industry and impact a lot of people. So it was sort of this hobby gone mad mission to elevate our profession, and combined with like, I think this should make me some kind of an income. It really just succeeded beyond. It was, I call it a hobby gone mad. It immediately grew to like 500 members, which I thought would solve all my problems, before I realized what the back end was on this community, because this is back before platforms like School, which I'm on now, where everything had to be hand coded, huge back end expense of webmasters, because I'm not a technical person. So I needed to keep growing.
Yeah.
And it did. It grew to 1,000 and then to 1,500, which is when I sold it in 2021.
That is the fantasy of a lot of people, is to have a group that big.
I know. It's really about how much need there was. So having been a business reporter and talking to business owners, I just kind of had a business attitude towards my own writing business and gradually realized that most freelance writers did not, where I'm following my muse. I write about whatever I feel like. I write for whoever asks me, no marketing. What are you doing to market your business? Nothing really. There was just a lot of starving people out there who needed to figure out how to turn it into a real living. I'm sure we barely scratched the surface. That was all organic through the blog. I did no paid ads almost till very late in the game. We did some around courses we were launching. But there's just so much need for it.
There's 2 avenues that we need to explore. One of them is school, and the other one is 2008. So I'm gonna start with 2008, and then we'll move into school.
Okay.
So I started marketing on the internet in 98 and 99, and so by 2008, I had built a multiple six-figure business online, right? Because it was easy back then. If you knew enough about SEO, you could grow something, and the rules have changed in the last 20 years. Today, if I don't know if I could replicate what I did because it's different now.
I totally agree. And I am doing the community I'm doing now in a very different way than I did the den. And I'm not looking to scale it. I'm looking to make it 100-person limit community.
Oh.
And I'm doing a free level, which if you'd asked me any time before about a year ago if I would ever do that, I would say never, 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 never. I was taught you don't ever do free. Those people are tire kickers and they're never going to buy from you. It all circled back around to what I saw on school. My past history was I had offered 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and 1 year free passes to Freelance Writers Den, and we tracked all those people and they converted zero ever.
Mm.
In book marketing, they say don't make a free book, they're not buyers. So, I mean, this is an old conventional wisdom that you should have a tripwire that's a $7 or something, not free. That free is a bad price. And I was pretty steeped in that. And then I got on school a year ago and started watching people earn $4 million a year on their free community. Um,
Really?
Upselling their accumulating large free communities and upselling them and making millions a year. I just kind of reached the point where I went, I kind of can't ignore this anymore. It seems like I think the reason that it's happening is the trust crisis. We all know that like half of the stuff we're seeing online is lies, is AI, is someone posing as something they're really not or really don't know about. It's tough to get people to trust you. I did to launch this. The theory on launching Community Growth Academy was we did 6 grand of Facebook ads, easily created of a 5,000 name list to email, and they converted zero
Yeah.
because they didn't know me. They just came in through an ad.
Yeah.
And that was an incredibly painful lesson. Those ads were done by a pro team I really trust who has sold $14 million worth of courses online over the years, and now it doesn't work.
Yeah.
What works is giving people a chance to get a lot of you exposure and really get to know you. And yeah, I kept getting into free communities on school because you don't want to just have your own one. You get around town, you want to see what other people are doing, and you'd go in their classroom and their things would be locked. This is $25. This is $97. This is only for this premium level of membership. Or they'd upsell you coaching or whatever they're doing. I just kept seeing it and
Yeah.
going, huh, and hearing the kind of numbers that these people are winning the school games, which is a whole contest within school of who can earn the most, grow the fastest in
So
each
there's an
year,
entire
each quarter.
ecosystem in school, which is kind of the way that Substack is working, that Substack recommendations are driving
Sure.
viewers. Again, not a platform that worked for me.
Hmm.
I try them all.
Okay.
I'm a trier, and
I
then I
have
find the
not
one. Yeah.
I haven't gone down the Substack rabbit hole
I
yet,
don't think
but
you need to though, because you have created a community on school.
yeah, and I just do my 14,000 LinkedIn followers, and I kind of
Yeah,
already
I
have an
mean,
audience from having done this
yeah.
before.
Yeah, and it's difficult to build a brand new audience. I mean, in 2026, it is difficult to start from scratch because there's so many loud voices out there
Yes,
that are
ma'am.
louder than yours, whose lipstick is redder than your lipstick, whose hair is pinker than your hair, right? There's so many better thans. So all you can do is be authentic, right? And attract the people and understand who you want to this is really important because you did mention it earlier. Understanding who you want to work with, because if
Yeah.
you're trying to be everything to everybody, you're not gonna attract anybody,
Yeah.
and I think you nailed that one.
Well, so this has been an interesting pivot for me, and one of the reasons that I decided to open up a free level is that I have an audience, but it's mostly freelance writers or CEOs who might need a book ghost written, which is the type of freelance writing that I still do a bit of. And I found there was an amazing amount of overlap actually between writers. Some of them are also life coaches or they have other activities in their lives. One of them opened up a community about moving to Europe because she did that. And this is the sort of passionate hobbyist, type of thing. I'm not necessarily the world's expert, but I've done a thing and I want to bring together people who want to do that thing. I found it's really been a struggle. Yeah. Did the Facebook ads, converted nothing. Did a YouTube channel, hasn't been huge as far as I'm aware yet, but I need to get back to creating. I'm kind of on a pause with that because posting on LinkedIn and getting in my LinkedIn DMs and DMing coaches in my network. That's been a good way to go and a good way to get to reacquainted with some of your connections on LinkedIn. It's like, hey, they're people I actually know, in my network. And I guess I enjoyed that form of marketing. It was paying off. So I leaned into that. But yeah, ultimately I had to conclude that the fastest way to grow the group would be to open up a free level. And I did it literally it's been like a week and 25 people joined and a couple
Really?
of
In a
them
week?
upgraded to paid already. And yeah, the head of school says the free people can convert at like 20% because they're constantly confronted with th- enticing looking things that they can't quite get their hands on until they pay more. That I'm doing a community where my people will launch more communities and I can get an affiliate sale on each of those communities at
That
40%.
that's a smart way to do it.
So that's a side cash cow. And they just recently got their act together and made it so members of your community can affiliate sell the community and earn. So this is what we did in Freelance Writers Then. We had to do a lot of crazy software stuff of integrating things, and now it's all magic.
Yeah.
For $97, everything just works.
We should always be learning and emulating other people's really good ideas.
As one entrepreneur once said to me, the learning ramp never ends. As soon as you think you know how to do those Facebook
Uh-huh.
ads, Facebook changes their
Oh, yeah.
algorithm, it is
Everything
totally
changes.
endless.
It changes
So
for every 6 months, it changes. But
efficiency is helpful.
I've always believed that you should use the system or the tool that works for you. So for some people, school is going to be the platform that works for their community. For others, it's
Mhm.
going to be Mighty Networks or Kajabi or
Sure.
any or even Kit.
I am platform agnostic as far as my members. They don't have to be starting a community in school or have one on school. Right now, I have someone who has a large Facebook community that they're thinking about transitioning to school. I have someone on Heartbeat, on just a Discord. So I don't care. I'm here to teach the fundamentals of how to get people to join and get them interested in your community, get them to participate in your community, all that stuff.
By the time this episode airs, I will have figured it out, but I am currently in the process of building a brand new community around a new offering that I am rolling out in January. And I was thinking that I would just use Slack to build the community. And then I hit that wall of how do I get them into Slack? And it's not as easy as I was hoping it would be. So it's not going to be in Slack. So talk about what you do in school.
Well, I'm running a community for people who are looking to launch a community of their own. And I feel like I've been saying paid community, and I want to keep saying paid community because even the people who have a free community are deriving pay from that community. And they're just not doing it with the membership. They're doing it by upselling courses or coaching or a class or whatever they're doing or a live event or whatever it is. Basically, what I've done is unpacked every step of how I launched the Den and quickly ramped it to 500 members, how I, you know, got it from 500 to 1,000, how I got it from 1,000 to 1,500, how to figure out what content you need in it, what events to do hold, when, where, what, how, what way, what kind of trainings do your people want, how to figure out your minimum viable content you need to get open, how to operate the business once it's running, your first month, your first year, what is your battle plan for what you are going to deliver to keep people in, how do you keep people, how do you retain people? How do you keep bringing in new members? All the fundamentals. And then I have a course called Built to Sell on how you make sure it's positioned as a saleable asset. This is the thing that really sucked me back into doing paid community again, is that I just meet a million coaches and I go to their website and their website is named theirname.com and I just feel sad inside because I just die a little inside because I know that they have no saleable asset. They are working and working and working, and they are doing a million one-on-ones. They don't get paid when they go on vacation. Their business ends when they give up, they burn out and give up and close the doors. Or they don't find enough clients because it's hard to get $10,000 clients for one-to-one packages like everyone tells you. And you said you wanted to talk about that. That's what every coach in the world is hearing everywhere they turn. You need a $10,000 offer. And if you give
Ugh,
me 10,000, I'll teach you how to get $10,000 offers.
yeah.
And as someone who didn't come out of marketing, who came out of journalism and had a very sort of lower middle class upbringing, this whole mantra of sell something that's $10,000, like it literally turned my stomach. It made me feel ill. I was like, I
Uh-huh.
don't want to charge that much.
Yeah.
I don't want, because I know how much marketing is involved in getting someone to give you $10,000.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that much marketing. I want to just do less marketing and spend more time helping the people with the life transformation I was trying to help them with.
Yeah.
I wanted to spend my time on that. And $25 a month, no obligation, leave any time is so much easier to sell. 14-day, refund policy if you don't like it. So much easier to sell, so much less marketing. I did not have to do a lot of going to conferences and be speaking and traveling. I didn't have to do 2-hour grind you sales. Oh, but if you sign up during this webinar, you'll get these bonuses. I did not have to sell all day. I could just be serving my members, and that was for me. That this model is a fit for how I want to show up in the world and the impact I want to make, namely on many people, not on like I can get 24 coaching students. I can fit them into my schedule this year, and that's the impact I'm having. Like that wasn't desirable to me on any level. And I earned so much more money selling low ticket. So, yeah, I'm kind of out there on this stump about this whole bro energy, you need a $10,000 offer thing because it's so ever present right
I
now. And it's just you
it,
don't have to have a $10,000 offer. I made 6 million over the life of my business and I never had a $10,000 offer. I eventually had one $1,500 offer that I would do like groups of 30, 40 people occasionally. Like, but the vast bulk of all that income was $25 a month. I never changed the price of it
wow.
because to me that was against mission. The first thing my buyer did was to raise the price. But to
I
me, I raised the price. That means I will impact fewer people.
well, and then the buyer is going to run the business the way they want to buy it. The way
Exactly.
they want to run it, not the way that you ran it.
Right.
They're buying your assets, not your pricing structure. About a week or so ago, I got an inbox on LinkedIn, and it was from a dude, and he said, "We help coaches in the Midwest scale." It was I wish I had it memorized. I don't, but it was. I read it and I started laughing, right? And my response was, "Dude, I help women build communities. I help women grow. I don't scale, and I don't whatever the word was that he used. I am not your ICA, but thanks for sharing your bro marketing tactic with me. And he responded, bro marketing is a funny phrase. That was his response.
Like he'd
Because
never heard
he'd never
of bro
heard of it.
energy?
Like he'd never heard that his distasteful way of approaching me, a woman, would have offended me. And I laughed about it because it's hilarious because I've been, I'm 56 years old. I've been hearing this my entire life. Even recently on YouTube, I had a comment. I was the only woman in the video. The other people in the video were men, and the comment was directed at me in a very gross way. That's why women need to build communities. That's really why women need to build communities. So if there is a woman out there right now, a coach, someone who wants to build a community, her first step is to identify what she offers and who her target market is, and then pick a platform. What happens next?
So we start at what is your best opportunity in the world of community and do a worksheet of what are all the things you know and are passionate about, life experience, work experience. And then we start talking about where that intersects with money in the marketplace, where someone would pay money to be part of that, to be in a community of people all doing that. And the answers to who might pay for that will really surprise you. Go on school and look at the top of Discovery, and some of the most popular ones on there are men who like scent, how to do calligraphy, things you just would not expect at all. So there's really a wide range out there, but so then we roll into competitive research, what is already out there like this, because you are not inventing a wheel here. There is a community like this somewhere, or it's not a good opportunity. Someone has already discovered it if there's money in it at this point in the internet. So then we start looking at what's already out there. Well, what do they charge? What do they offer for that money? What's their energy? Is it bro energy or is it more inclusive or what is it about? Is it really based in Africa or it's based in the UK and you're in America and maybe it's got a different flavor? And we start talking about how you will position differently. Maybe you're going after a different audience than they seem to be headed towards. So we try and really engineer this from the beginning before the tech. We're still way before the tech stack. And
Yeah.
then we're at audience building. Do you have an audience for this or do you need to build one ahead of your launch so that you launch kind of and get enough people where it feels like a community and isn't, a ghost town?
In the world of
And
podcasting, we call that audience message fit.
right. And then we start looking at tech stack. Where will this go live? So
So you have a worksheet for this. So if you're looking to start a community, there is a worksheet within Carol's community. Carol, go ahead and share what your community address is.
it is school.com/community growth academy with the dashes and /about.com/about is where you will get kind of all the info you want as someone new to my little school.
And
And
that
you
link will
can
be in
get
the show
that.
notes below.
Yeah, and you get those worksheets at the free level too. You can come in, start having that thinking. That's what I'm liking about it is people can come in and start kind of ideating. We actually have a lounge, the Ideators Lounge, uh, is one of our forums for people kind of throwing ideas at the wall, trying to go, what is my community idea? What's my best opportunity for here?
If I've learned anything in my more than 25 years of marketing on the internet, I know that you have to adapt every 6 months.
Well,
Something new comes out.
this is a big twist for me, just doing a free level, but you know what? And I thought I would just resent it and be like, "Oh, free people." But I'm really excited and happy about it because yeah, I want more people to get started. I mean, the reason I came back to this is that I love community and I believe community is the future of online business. And I would like to help people have the kind of lifestyle I had from my community, which, as a former reporter was beyond my anything I would have ever imagined in terms of income. And ended up being important. My husband developed a seizure disorder and needed to kind of not work, and we needed a stay at home parent also with the kids that we ended up adopting. I bought a 5-bedroom house on Lake Washington, and I was the sole signatory. Just things I could never have imagined without the power of community.
But it didn't just happen overnight. You built something. You built it. and you had consistency and resilience, and you kept going and you adapted. It's not an you're not an overnight success. I had a plumber once tell us that he became an overnight success after 30 years as a plumber.
Yeah, I am totally that story. I am the late bloomer of all time. I think I started the den when I was 45 maybe, and there's actually a lot of data that people have their big moment, their the scientific insight that wins them the Nobel and everything in their 20s and 30s, and it's over after that for, like, 90% of people. And so I come staggering along later, discover blogging, discover paid community. You are not too old to do this. But I want to say
Okay.
not all of my community members are women, and men are totally welcome. I have someone I'm dying to get his community launched. He's an ultra marathoner, has so much cred as a fitness trainer and does crazy thing. He deadlifts his kids, and he has great videos, and he's just a super extraordinary athlete. And I know his community ideas is going to explode if he can get the time to work on it.
There's an audience for what he does,
Oh, hell yeah.
you
Yeah,
know? You
of
know?
course.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay. I do want to ask you because the women listening to the show are Gen X solopreneurs, and so what specific advice can you offer to Gen X women business owners about growing a community or launching a new community?
Come do the worksheet and figure out your best opportunity. Like, really, I mean, you can waste a lot of time just kinda jumping on doing this and that, but, yeah, do it with mentoring. Do it with people who've done community, and come learn community in a community so that you really get it, what it's all about. The reason it's a saleable asset is you are not the community. The community is not about you. It is the interactions of the members. And you are delivering whatever it is they're telling you they need to have. Oh, should we have co-working hours? Okay, let's schedule them. It's about responding to the community and growing with that community. I think people think they need to know everything. They need to have tons of content inside their community when they launch. I launched with like half a dozen blog posts I still had on my blog and a couple of videos I had done, and we started doing weekly events. And actually, my financial guy who launched to 500 members, like, right away, he launched with almost no content, and we're going to make a course over the next few months together in a series of live Q&As. And you do not need to know everything. In fact, recruiting other experts to come guest present is a great idea in terms of making it a saleable asset as they see, there are other buyers see you are not the only expert who could be present here. So, but yeah, I feel like the important thing is to look at what's out there, which people are afraid to do, and talk to people about your idea, which people are afraid to do. And let's look at where the money is for you. And, it's like you want to set up a site about homeschooling, but it's like, what's the budget of homeschooling moms? Are they going to pay you money?
Yeah.
These are the conversations we
And
have.
around homeschooling, there's so many free resources that
Exactly, exactly.
people don't have to pay.
It's a great example of one that you wish, or quilting is my other favorite. It's people love doing it, but, like, would they pay to be in a community online about it?
Yeah.
More iffy. So, from my years of business reporting, I have that sort of business head to lay on you of where's the money gonna would people is this a pain you're solving that people would be like, "Oh, wow, this is a high value shortcut for me, I'm totally doing it." 'Cause that's sort of the reaction you're looking for, so I'm here to help people engineer that.
I believe that community, because this is a conversation I have with other podcasters all the time, is that that's the piece that's missing. I mean, anybody who's a podcast coach says you got to build a community, but nobody tells you how. And Carol, you teach people how to build a community. So I'm going to actually share this episode with all of my podcasting friends.
Please do.
Because I believe that that is the future. It's the thing as a woman who works from home, we have 3 adults in our home and 2 cars. So I never have a car. I can never leave. I am constantly looking for community. And recently I found one that I really enjoy, but it was hard. It was really hard to find one. My main gig is podcasting. right? I do have a side coaching business, but my main gig is podcasting. That's what I do. And as a podcaster, there aren't a lot of other people to talk to, especially women my age, about podcasting. So it's been really nice to find a community that I can talk to about what I do and all the problems that we have. And one of them is building community.
I think women business owners it's the biggest struggle for community because we are juggling so many balls, and when would we have the time to go physically get together? And I think online community is really, really powerful for women. I think it's a needed thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
don't
something that
build in
it's
a vacuum.
Yeah, don't yeah, exactly. And I am a huge fan of following the system that works. You don't have to make something up. You can use the exact same system as somebody else. All right, this has been really fun, Carol. The most important thing that you said today is that you are not the community. The members are the community. And so I think what I heard is that allowing the community to evolve within the ecosystem that you create is the most important thing. I think that was the most profound thing I heard from you, because a lot of creators are like, it's all about me, 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 because they're the creator.
Yeah, it's my idea and we're gonna do this. Yeah, that's not the community mode.
So this is your moment of gratitude. For whom or what are you most grateful?
My members just have made it all possible, and as much as, they've gotten out of the resources and the time with me, it has paid me back so much, and really just besides the money, the gratification of knowing that you're just transforming so many people's lives, it just can't it's better than butter. I love it. If you have a big heart for helping a lot of people, take a step forward in their life, I just think community is your format.
Thanks for tuning in to Gratitude Geek, the podcast for Gen X women business owners. Our theme music is by Rev Brock and Sola Lee. To connect with Carol Tice, be sure to check the show notes. All her links will be in the show notes. I've been your host, Candice Ridardi. Stay groovy, my friends.
Stay groovy.